Here's this, 2005.
2005.
What's going on, everybody? So we got a 2005 Mazda 3. Anyways, found some control arm bushings there that were bad on it. We changed the ball joint there the other day and noticed that bushings got a fair amount of play and he's getting a slight clunk. So we changed out the struts and got a clunk after that. So then there was a sway bar link that the grease nipple was hitting against the body of the car. We replaced that to eliminate that clunk. Then come to find out that one of the new struts, the nut wasn't tight enough. Tighten that up. That went away, and he's still getting a little bit of a clunk and a squeak and stuff. And the new ball joint that we put in didn't quite slide in like 100%. Normally, when you change a ball joint on your 2005 Mazda 3, you want to change the whole control arm. One, you're going to get new bushings. You're going to get a prefabbed control arm with the ball joint in it. Now, on these control arms, as you can see here, right there, see that little collar where the ball joint goes in? See if I can get you focused. Okay, that there, once you take a ball joint out and you go to put a ball joint in, that little collar expands a little bit. Ball joint can slide up and down just a touch. Can't be 100% this is what's going on with it, but we're getting a tiny squeak when he's turning and hitting little bumps and stuff like that. Now we did the struts because they were leaking. Found a nut that was loose on the top of the strut tower. And then the sway bar link, the grease nipple was hitting the body. Fixed all that, put a new ball joint in because the ball joint was loose. We just put the regular ball joint. Now we're getting a little squeak, and I think it's because the ball joint itself is moving just slightly in the collar. Now when I put everything all together, it was nice and snug up against it, and I got underneath there the other day and had a look at it, and I got like a little tiny crack. So right in here, we got a little crack there now, and this was all seated together 100% like this was. So I'm thinking that ball joint's just moving up and down slightly. It's causing a squeak. But at the same time, his bushings are bad, so we're just going to do the whole control arm. So we're going to get down to this Mazda 3 here. We're going to get these control arms out, and we're going to show you how to change them. Alright, so first things first, we want to raise up the vehicle. We'll find our jack point down here. You probably won't be able to see it, but we're going to go in. We want to be able to get these control arm bolts out. So I'm going to, there's a big bolt there that's on the K-frame right here. Let's see if I can't get the light in there so everybody can see. See that big bolt there? Yeah. That's where we're going to jack. Buy a brand new jack, she's the squeakiest thing on the planet. Holy moly. Go slow, it doesn't do it. Your emergency brake is off, right?
Yep.
Okay. You want to leave your car just in gear and park. Don't put your emergency brake on when you're jacking it up. I think that's more than high enough. You know, what did I do with all my jack stands? Okay. So we're going to get around the other side here. Take our jack stand down under here, see where the K-frame is right here? I'm going to put mine at the top setting. Make sure your jack stands are in good working order. And we're going to set it down right there on the K-frame. Or whatever kind of frame you want to call that. Whee! Now let's see if... Yeah. Well, I'll just fix that a little bit. Okay, so I get it, so it's kind of scenario. Yeah, I think that'll be alright. Should be. So, pull this one out. We're going to do the same thing for this side. There's another big bolt on this side here, where there's a good support to jack from. Now I'll get this up into place. You also got to kind of pay attention to make sure that your other jack stand doesn't tip over or something while you're doing this. But right now we're slightly higher than the other side. I grab another good known jack stand. I'm gonna put her down in under here. There. You want to make sure those are locked into these teeth nice and good. When you pull them up all the way, sometimes they sit on the end of the stem instead of actually in the tooth. You want to make sure it's in the tooth. Now, everything looks good there. Nice and supported. Okay. Now, some guys just use the jack stand and that's it. Me, I like to do a little bit of extra precaution because I can't bench press the car. And I'm assuming a lot of you guys can't either. So, what I end up doing is I go in on the frame here, just underneath the floor, and I just put just a tad bit of pressure on the floor. Well, not on the floor, but there's a channel frame that runs down all the way from the front to the back, and normally you can lift on that. So I'm going to take my jack, so if the stand does let go or something decides to happen, if I'm hitting on something or whatever and something shifts, at least I got a jack that's backing me up on top of the jack stand. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. There. Now if you're clumsy, go take some orange ribbon and put it around that so you don't bang yourself. So I got a mat here and I'm going to get a mat for the other side and we're going to take tires off. 21 mil for these nuts for the tires. Just gonna double check to make sure there's nothing loose. Everything's nice and tight. And if you're looking for a good electric impact, so if you guys are looking for a good electric impact, battery operated, Milwaukee Fuel, it's brushless. This one here is the model number 2767-20. It's an 18-volt system. Anyways, 1,400 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. The thing is a monster. I've taken off some massive bolts with this. It works amazing. Like, it hardly works. And yeah, well, I guess we got a full battery. Works good. So we'll set that tire off to the side. Let's go around and get the other side first. Take the tires off and get them out of the way. Now we're going to go and show you what's going on with that other ball joint that's on the other side that we put in. And we're also going to show you what's going on with the bushings and the control arm. Now, I'm going to have a look at these ones here. These are going to move back and forth in this pocket just a little bit, but you got rubber inside there that holds everything together. On the other side, I can move it quite a bit. So the whole control arm is going back and forth right here inside this pocket. So this one is the driver's side. So we'll put the driver's side on the driver's side. We'll take the passenger one, we'll put it on the passenger side. Alright, let's get where'd the light go?
Good question.
Light's on his jack. Okay, so let's get down here and see what this ball joint looks like. Can you see that through the camera there? Okay. See how right here it's nice and tight? Back here we got a crack. Now when I put all this all together, everything was completely seated all the way around. So, and I believe the last time I looked at it, this here was down just a little bit and now it's up. So I'm thinking this here is just kind of moving up and down slightly over road force of bumps. Our roads aren't the greatest, so we got all kinds of bumps. And I'm thinking it's just going just a little bit. So we're gonna, that's one reason why, see this little collar here? That there expands a little bit over time. And there's nothing really to clamp it tighter, so it can be a little loose there when you put things back together. Now, let's see about this control arm bushing. See if we both can't get in there with the camera. Alright, let me get a pry bar. Okay. It's kind of hard to show you, but okay. See how the rubber there looks to be pretty chewed up around the edges? All around here, all down there. Starting to tear apart and it's separating. So it's a good indication that your bushing's starting to fail. See, it's all torn here. Get you a better angle. See where all that crack is? Bushing there itself is tearing, separating. So it's causing the control arm to move in and out and up and down. It's not holding in place the greatest. No, come around this side. What I was doing was, see how that's moving there?
Yeah.
And then we'll go upwards, not as bad. There's stuff on top, but I think if I go like this, yeah, see that? Quite a bit of movement there. I mean, it's not really gonna go anywhere, but the bushing is definitely not the greatest. And if you're driving down the road and the bushing, you're getting force from your tire, which then pushes on the inside of the control arm to go this way. You know, and if you were to put it in reverse, the force is going to go this way. You know what I mean? It's going to counteract with force. So anyways, when you're driving down the road, control arm wants to, when you're speeding up, I guess, it's going to go this way. And when you're just coasting along, resistance to your tire and stuff, it's going to want to go the other way. It counteracts itself a bit. Anyways, can throw you out of alignment or make your vehicle harder on fuel. Can cause a slight pull under certain driving conditions. Okay, so we're going to get that all taken apart. So down underneath here we got 2 bolts. 2 bolts here. We got our ball joint that we got to take out. And another bolt up in the front. So the best thing to do, start off with your ball joint. So you got a bolt up in the front there. This is driver's side. Right down in there. There's a bolt there. Anyways, and then your ball joint. So your ball joint has it's like there's a collapsible sleeve that the ball joint goes on. The bolt goes through like a little collar on the ball joint itself. So slide me that. I got it. So you see this little collar here on the ball joint? Okay, this little collar here. Once you get the stem up into the press sleeve on your spindle, your bolt's gonna slide right beside it. And then that's gonna lock it so it doesn't fall out. So we're gonna go ahead and get this taken apart here. Figure out what we need. 16 or 17 or something? 16? It is on this particular one. Now some manufacturers send you different size nuts. Did you get new bolts with your? No way. Okay, so that's another thing. When you go and you put in a new control arm or ball joint, you want to get a new pinch bolt. These control arms didn't come with them, so hopefully the other side is pinch bolt is going to be good and reusable. So the bolt itself is turning, so we will need a wrench. I think it is a 14, if I'm not mistaken. Find out here soon enough. Yes, it is a 14. You don't want to lose your nut if it doesn't come with new pinch bolt. What was that? Still working? Okay, so what I did is I took the nut, I put it back on that pinch bolt. I'm gonna grab a hammer. I'm gonna see if we can't knock that pinch bolt free. There. That come out. You always want to try and clean up these threads before you put them back in. So we'll do that thereafter. Now that we have that pinch bolt out, the spindle has like a hole in it, and it comes around. There's a slight crack in the back. Okay, so the spindle here, down in behind. I don't know if you can get the camera in there. Turn this some. Okay, so right here, where the ball joint comes through, see where the, like this is the top of the ball joint right here. Can you see that? Okay, so the ball joint comes up through. Well, right here, there's a crack. Now, when you put your pinch bolt through, it pinches this. That's why it's called pinch bolt. So it pinches these ears together, and it stops the ball joint from moving out. And then also on the ball joint itself, it's got that little groove where the bolt slides through on half of it, so it doesn't fall out. So anyways, these ears, they become a little compressed, so you can't really just take a pry bar and pry down most of the time. So what I normally end up doing is I take a punch or a chisel and I'll put it in behind. I'll spread the ears open a little bit. Then I'll take my pry bar, give it a jolt down to see if it'll come off. If it doesn't, then I gotta take a hammer and tap it down. So we'll see if we can't get that position. Down. I think it was this guy that I was using last time. Oh. Getting old. Alright, so I think I gotta do this from the other side. So if you guys wanted to come around the other way. Something new on there. Okay, so you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay, and take our chisel. How far are we in? We're in a little ways. There. So we got that hopefully expanded just a little bit, and that should allow us to take our pry bar, put it in here, and push the ball joint down and out. Now mind you, some of these don't come out that easy. They really don't. They're in there, they're rusted, and they're corroded and everything else. This ball joint was changed a couple weeks ago. Anyways, so everything's still kind of fresh a little bit. So it come out a little bit easier because everything was already cleaned up to begin with. So now that we got the ball joint out, you can kind of be able to move this. Try not to pull your CV shaft out of place, because if the joint comes out, you're going to have a little bit of a hard time to put it back together, or sometimes you have to take the boot right off to get the CV shaft back together. So be careful with that. Now, you can take this whole splash shield off. It'll give you a lot more room to work with. I should do that, but there's all kinds of zip ties and little fasteners, and I'm on the ground, so I can get in on this, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just going to do it like this. Yeah, the front bolt here is a 19 millimeter, and I'm going to get out our big trusty ratchet here. Kind of the slow way of doing things. You know what? I think I'm just going to take that plastic piece off. I don't feel like wrenching all that much. Got electric tools to use electric tools. Okay, let me in underneath there. We're going to strip this right down in a hurry. Okay, and another nice little toy. 3/8, 250 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. If you're looking for 3/8 electric drive, this is a stubby. 250 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. Took off wheel nuts with this. Like, it works pretty good. Can't complain on it. You can get a couple different size batteries, 2, 4, and I think a 6 amp hour. They might have bigger ones now, I'm not sure. Anyways, it's got pre-settings on it. 1, 2, 3 in auto. Same thing with the big gun. So we're gonna get this shield taken off. Now, that was a 19 mil for those front bolts. I believe it's a 17 for the other two. So there's a 19, there's a 17. Now that we got all kinds of room, spin that right out. Double check the bolt size here. Good. 17 mil. Come on. There. Alright. You got a wiggle and she falls right out. Now, have a good close look at that bushing there. See, look at that. I can turn that. I shouldn't be able to turn that.
No, sir.
That means I'd be able to hit that right off. Watch. Might be able to. We're gonna find out. It's coming off too. Shouldn't be able to do that to your bushing. Go over here to the vice for a minute. Oh, move my water out of the way. Now, anyways, I guess it doesn't want to come out by hand, but it's definitely no good.
No, sir.
Here's that. Alright, so now, put in the new one. See this new one here? I can't turn that. And if you look close, see inside here, right there and there, you got rubber that comes up and touches this, rubber that comes up and touches this. Then it's a bit more hollow here and here, so it can flex some. Now, this is all bonded together. I can't turn that at all. So that's good bushing. That's what you want to see. You don't want this to be able to turn. The other one, junk, garbage. Well, it's on its way out. I mean, some people say, oh, it'd be good for 1,000,000 miles. Well, other people don't want to feel the rattles. Cool. Alright, so This part here slides back up onto the frame, and this slides into the little pocket in the front. Your ball joint will go up in. If you're having a hard time with your ball joint, you can take it, kind of reposition it a little bit. This ball joint here is nice and tight all the way around, seated in perfect. Now, I'll get it back. There. Now, let's see if we can't get some cardboard to lay on. Now, the holes are sometimes a little hard to line up. So, sometimes just bring a punch with me so I can line everything up together. Try not to drop it on your head. Okay. Oh, sorry.
All good.
Should always try and get them started before you put the impact on them. Just to make sure you don't strip anything. There's one. We're just going to get that up into place, and we'll tighten them up there after we get the, well, yeah, we'll get the front bolt put in first, lined up and put in. Now, pull this out some. Give me a little bit more wiggle room, I think. There. Now, you can take a pry bar and help yourself out. Take it, put it in here. There. Perfect. That's 19. Sockets. Oh, wrong way. Perfect. Decently tight is good, but if you're not confident in your torque of what you're torquing or how tight the bolt is, you don't want to break it. If your gun's very strong, this gun can actually break that bolt for being such a large bolt. But anyways, if you're not comfortable with kind of putting it together, follow the torque specs. Have yourself a torque wrench and get the proper torque specification and put it together that way. Perfect. Okay. Alright. So, I'll get back to putting this ball joint in now. You're going to want to take your pry bar, push down. Don't get your fingers in there because you bite your fingers. And it hurts. Okay. So, we have ball joint is can't push like that. Normally you're standing up when you do this, and not so much on the ground. It's starting to slide in.
There you go.
So you want to get her wiggled into spot. And you want to look in the hole and get that little groove in the ball joint stem, the little groove, lined up with the hole where the bolt's going to go through. Otherwise, you'll have too much tension on the ball joint and or the bolt itself, and you'll probably strip the bolt. So we're going to go ahead and we can put the bolt back in there now. We're going to clean this one up a little bit. The other ones were fairly clean. And give her a couple light taps to push the bolt through. Now if you got to really hammer on that bolt to go through, clean up the hole. Like, take the bolt back out, clean up the hole, then put everything through. Because if you're really going to hammer on it, you're going to just end up damaging the threads on the bolt. I'm going to put that on the back side. We're going to find, what was it, a 15 mil. And our 14. Tighten it on that side. Now, just going to double check that with a ratchet. I don't want to go too tight, but I want it to be tight enough that it pinches some. That was a 15 mil. Okay. Yeah, that's good and tight. Doesn't have to be overkill because that bolt can break. You just want it tight enough where it's going to pinch it down some and everything's going to stay in place. So that's how you do the driver side control arm on a 2005 Mazda 3. And now would be a great time, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe. Alright, so we're over here on the passenger side, and anyways, don't have a work order kind of written out everything, but I was kind of assuming I seen the other bushing on the other side, and the price of the two control arms together were the price of one around here. So we got two regardless for the price of one. Now when we come over to the passenger side, I started taking it apart, took off my pinch bolt for the ball joint. Anyways, when I got down underneath, hold on here. When I got down here and I was looking at this, like, ball joint's good and tight on this. The seat down here, oh, here, hold on, there we go. The seat where it all sits into place is nice and good. And the backside looks perfect. When I took a pry bar and I tried prying on it, it doesn't move. So this is good and tight. We don't need to change this control arm on the passenger side. But if you are going to go and change out the control arm on the passenger side, it's the same concept as the driver's side. You take out your pinch bolt here. Where is it? Right there. You take out your pinch bolt. You go and you separate your your sleeve that holds everything together. Take your 2 bolts off the back, and you take your bolt off the front there. Now, you might have to work around the AC compressor a little bit, so an extension and a wobble, or just a ratchet with a short socket would work. Maybe a wrench. Get you by. Those bolts are in pretty tight to wrench it out, but can be done. Alright, and that's it. So that's how you change a control arm on a 2005 Mazda 3. They're pretty much all the same for the different size models. Mazda Speed, Mazda 3, whatever. Hatchback sedan. So, if you like this video, hit that like button. That's right around there, somewhere down here. Smash that subscribe button. We'll see you guys all in the next video. Ciao for now. I didn't break it.